Very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH 286, Patricia and David, on what has been a very grey day here, but no wind, although it's gone up to a high of 7 knots at the moment, but it is from the north. So much appreciated. It's 18 degrees, which is a lot warmer than it has been the last few days, especially when you get up in the morning. The bar is absolutely static at 1023. Looking back, it's sort of been that, although we're slowly dropping. So 1023 on the bar. So very good evening to everybody. A lot of people are now anchored at Minerva, so quite a few dropped off our list tonight. Hopefully someone will come in and tell us what it's like. And then we have a couple of boats. Freya and Cambria are in Savu Savu. They will not be sunbathing, but at least they'll have a washdown of the boat and they'll be happy to be in after what was a fairly torrid time. Well, not too torrid, but it certainly was boisterous for the last trip from Minerva. So Alrisha is in Port Vila, so they'll be happy. That was quite a pretty good trip too. So that's about where we are, and I will call in the boats starting with Zelda, Flying Cloud in Mintaka shortly. But I'll just update you, we had this magnificent solar storm and all of the geomagnetic problems that was associated with it. Some of the tails are coming out now. Nobody seemed to have any problems in New Zealand with Starlink. There was evidently one little blip in the middle of the night, but other than that, absolutely nothing. But the Tesla owners have reported autopilot wobbles, and quite interesting ones too. This is in our local paper and from the Auckland area. The GPSs just kept jumping about, thinking they were on a road, for example, beside a motorway, which messed up the autopilots being used. And then they would drop the speeds instead of 100 down to 50.
And the other way around.
And the other way around. Another guy reported that he was on the road near Motat, Great North Road, and it decided that it was on the freeway and sped up to 100 kilometres per hour. I wonder if that would be a valid excuse if you got stopped by a cop. And there was also a lot of what they call phantom braking, where the car decides it needs to brake because it's too close to something. So that was fairly interesting. There hasn't been any response from Elon Musk about the situation at this stage. So in the United States, and I found this out when I was on the stepper machine at the gym this morning, but one guy was telling me that in the USA, they have these humongous self-controlled agricultural machines that till the earth and thresh and plant and do all that sort of thing. Well, they haven't been able to use them because the solar storm or the geomagnetic fluctuations have upset all the GPS, and they're very accurate machines. I mean, they traipse along almost a kilometre, or in their language it would probably be a mile, in one direction, and then they turn and come back, and they're only centimetres away. Well, actually I should make that inches away, not even an inch really. They're very, very accurate, these humongous agricultural machines, and they have been out of action for a few days. So yeah, really interesting that we haven't had too many comments from you guys. In fact, none at all that anything has been upset. Okay, we'll go on. We've not got all that many boats on the list tonight. We'll start at the north. Zelda, Gulf Harbour.
Gulf Harbour, this is Zelda. How copy?
Oh, a good copy as usual. Go ahead.
Yeah, we've been anchored in North Minerva from midday today, so had a nice passage. Do you want a position? Over?
No, we know where North Minerva is, but we would be interested in the weather, Heike.
Roger, the wind is 18 knots from east or east-southeast, 40% cloud cover, parameter 1021 millibars. That's about it.
Okay, I think you said east-southeast, 18 knots and 40% cloud cover. So 1021, so the entrance would have been pretty good. And there would be quite a few boats in there now, I presume, over.
there are 7 boats on the together now. 4.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the report. Much appreciated, Heike, and we'll hope you and the others all enjoy North Minerva. It's not going to be brilliant, but at least it won't be too bad, and I'm sure you'll be able to get off and explore. Okay, we'll clear with you guys. I bet you have a good night's sleep tonight, and go to Flying Cloud. Flying Cloud, Cyrus, over. Nothing heard from Flying Cloud. We'll go on to Mintaka, then Carrera and Mackay. Mintaka, Gulf Harbour.
This is Mintaka. How do you copy?
Good copy, Phil. And yeah, I've got an email from Vicky, and she was a bit worried that you weren't on the radio, but I'm sure if she's tuning in now, she'll know that all is well. Go ahead.
We've 2537.35 south 17959.93 east. Our course is 2027. Our wind currently is from the east at 30 knots, and our boat speed heavily reached at 7 knots. Over.
Ooh, you've got a fair amount of wind up there at 2537 south, 17960 east, 027 true course, 7 knots, reef down with the east 30. I'll see what David has to say about tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? He's sitting here looking at satellite
Should
pictures.
be in Minerva tomorrow.
Oh, he says not to worry because you're going to be in Minerva tomorrow. Hang
say-
on.
I'd say it's going to continue to be easterly tomorrow. I'm looking at about lunchtime, and I'd say 15 to 20 knots. You should be in Minerva tomorrow. Is that right? Over.
Well, that's hope, David. Yeah, we hope to be in Minerva about just after midday tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, you'll have a very, very nice time there. We just absolutely love the place. So, yeah, well, enjoy. And, well, hopefully the wind will die down a little bit. What is your cloud cover right now? If you said
40%.
it, I'm sorry. 40, 40,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
That wind of 30 knots, is that coming in gusts, or is this a constant wind for you? Over.
Yes, David, our cloud cover is probably about 85% now. No, the breeze is holding in pretty solid between 25 and 30.
Okay. Roger, thank you very much for that. And yeah, the models are always very interested in what the true conditions are, because I like to compare the models with what you've got. But anyway, they're calling off where you are right now at exactly 5 o'clock. Yep, right about 5 o'clock. About 20 knots out of the east and gusts to 25. So that's pretty close. So more or less the same through tonight and probably tomorrow. I think when you get closer to Minerva, that reef is going to block some of the wave action, at least as you approach on the west side. So it shouldn't be too bad coming into the pass. So anyhow, it shouldn't be too bad at all. Just a good fresh breeze, and we can thank the high of about 1030 millibar that's almost directly to your south for nice compressed isobars. So anyway, that's sailing. Over.
David, one further question while I've got you, if I may. Looking ahead to leave Minerva, how is your forecast looking? With the work that I've done and the information I've received, maybe Friday afternoon to Saturday morning looks like a good time to start each other, over?
Okay.
Okay, I got that, and you're looking at Friday afternoon, Saturday morning. And interesting things. The wind at Minerva looks like it's going to be about 20 knots, average wind about 20 knots, pretty much out of the east. Although the winds between Minerva and Fiji are changing. We've got basically a polar dip in the isobars, which I don't like the looks of. Usually, polar dips are a precursor for cyclonic circulation. So hang on. I'm going to unkey the mic and I'll look at Saturday and Sunday to see what may happen. Just bear with us. Well, okay, nothing happens at all on Saturday. And looking at Sunday, well, it's rather complicated. The best way to explain it is the isobars are bending quite dramatically. That polar dip continues, but it is going to be further to the south. But between you and Fiji, the winds are going to be out of the northeast. So if you were to be traveling on Sunday, in other words, you would be a close reach or a beat to get up there. So if you do want to get to Fiji, best to do it Friday, Saturday, but not Sunday, from what I can see at the moment. Over.
Yeah, thanks very much, David. Much appreciated. Thanks for
Okay, that would apply to anybody else who's wanting to leave the Minervas for onward travel. Okay, going to Carrera Gulf Harbour.
Good evening, Gulf Harbour Radio. Our position is 25 degrees 46 south, 179 degrees 34 west. Our heading is 15 degrees cruise at about 8 knots. We've had probably a windier than forecast day with it. Earlier, although it's cleared up from about 50% this afternoon. Fuel is about 2 metres, and we're about 130 miles from there.
Okay, we have Carrera at 2546 and 17934 west on a course of 015 and 8 knots, heading 130 miles to Minerva with 2 metre seas and pretty windy. It sort of cut out a little bit, but I'm assuming that being so close to Mintaka, it's fairly sporty in the 25 knot mark. So you'll be looking at arrival tomorrow too, and looking forward to a bit more peaceful conditions in the lagoon. Over.
That's correct. Tomorrow morning, hopefully. We would have had up to 35 knots today, so it's quite windy relative to models.
Yeah, it's interesting. So stronger than the models, up to 35 knots today. Okay, well, you heard David talking to Phil there, so you'll be racing him in tomorrow morning and hopefully have a lure out to have some good fresh fish when you arrive. So have a good safe night. You'll be all reefed down. There's no need to rush. You've got plenty of daylight hours, so good and safe tonight. We'll clear with Carrera and go to Barry on Mackay.
One comment.
And David has a comment before I get you, Barry. Stand by.
Actually, I just want to make a comment on the models. They are fairly accurate on the gusts. They're calling off 28 to 30 knots.
But he got 35.
And not 35. The model is not going to pick up aberrations in the atmosphere. In other words, you could have either a squall, or if it's not a squall, you could have a fairly large cloud buildup rolling over you with a lot of upflow and a lot of downflow from that cloud. And so you're going to get gusts even higher than what the model says. Remember, the models are just an idea. They're just an approximation of what's going on. They've been fairly accurate. So I would say calling off 28 and you're getting 35. I'm not surprised. When you do have the 35, I'm just curious, did you have any rain at that point in time? Over.
Pretty interesting. We have had the 35 on the sort of cloud with rain, but we've also had these clear patches. What have you been?
Yeah, it was cloud but clear patches as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you for that information. That's all very interesting. So, yeah, it's pretty obvious what happens when there is rain involved. The squall, as we call it, certainly will give you winds of 30 plus, and obviously you're getting that. As far as clear air, winds of up to 35, well, just remember that when the models are drawing isobars, they're not necessarily drawing things in a linear fashion. There's going to be areas where the isobars in reality are closer together, and other areas where they're further apart than how the model is drawing it on the chart. And if that's the case, then they're going to report winds that are different from what you're getting. So again, it's all back to just don't believe 100% what the models are saying. They're just ideas, they're guides. And I try to tell that to everyone that looks at models as if we bow down to them. Not the case. Not the case at all. So anyway, thank you for the information. I really enjoy getting the real conditions like you're giving us. Okay, here's the chief.
All right. Yes. Well, I moan about them too, because if they say something, I'd rather. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be easy to have a range, would it? It would be too messy a model. Okay, Barry. Sorry for the delay. Go ahead. Over.
Yeah, Roger, no worries, Trish. I'll copy, over.
Yeah, great copy, and it was great copy this morning on 20 meters as well. Over.
Yeah, Roger, I was pretty surprised because we're kind of close, but yeah, so everything's working. My position, 27.03 south, 2703 south, 17855 west. I'm currently on a course of 7 degrees, 07 degrees true. Speed over ground is 6 knots. Wind, I'm seeing 21 knots from the east. Sea conditions about 1.5 meters and bumpy, also from the east. Bar, I have 1028, so my barometers must definitely be off. It's steady though. It's 1028. It's steady for last day, and all is well on board. My current range is let's see. My range is 208 nautical miles to Minerva, and I've got an ETA of right at about 35 hours, over.
Okay, so you'll be looking at Thursday morning, so no need to panic. Yep, it's yes, you've got less wind down. Oh, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Just a bit further west, you're got somewhat better conditions. Okay, I have Mackay at 2702, 17855 west, and I'm assuming it's degrees and minutes. You did say point, but I'm sure you normally do degrees and minutes. I hope you do. 007 south, 007 true course and 6 knots, 208 to go and 21 knots from the east, 1.5 meters, but pretty bumpy and steady barometer. I hope that's all okay, over.
Yeah, Roger, that's all correct. Trish, thank you very much. And yeah, it's been a bumpy ride, and I guess I'm looking forward to having even more wind when I arrive. I will definitely be taking the west side of the reef and advantage of the lower, at least the lower swell and chop as I come in, over.
Yep, well, we'll see what he says tomorrow, but yes, that would be a good idea. All right, and you'll enjoy a good few nights' sleep. Okay, we'll clear with Mackay. And is Flying Cloud on frequency? Flying Cloud?
I would want to talk to him.
Okay, Barry, there you go.
Back to you, Barry, for a minute, since Flying Cloud hasn't answered at this point. Looking at your Thursday arrival, that I think you said Thursday morning,
Yes.
which is good. Thursday afternoon, that very weak frontal band, due to the front that's going over New Zealand tonight, is going to be very, very close to Minerva by Thursday mid-afternoon. Let's call it mid-afternoon, and so there's going to be basically some wind shifts due to the front coming in. So it's basically east-northeast on the east side of it. So as you approach the pass, I think that's what you're going to see. On the other side of it, it's going to be southerly conditions. And Patricia has asked me tomorrow to talk about differences between troughs and fronts, and I will do that. So we'll pause for that at some point in time tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, getting in Thursday morning, good show. As long as it's not, I think, in the afternoon, you'd be better off certainly in the morning. Barry, over.
Roger, David, thank you very much for that. I'm showing an ETA of 4:21 a.m. So it'll actually be a little bit later than that because I'll have to round. I've just plotted a course to the west side of the reef, so it'll be a couple of miles and then coming in. So I'm expecting sometime around 7 a.m. or so. Over.
Yep, hopefully you'll have some light to get through and be good and safe. All right, well, maybe if you're all sorted out, you'll be on the Hamnet in the morning to tell us all as well. Okay, let's go to Whistler X, Gulf Harbour.
Good evening, Gulf Harbour. This is Whistler X. How do you copy?
Yeah, nice copy, Jerry. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Currently at 2709 south, 17907 west. We're on a course of 025 true. Sailing at about 5.2 knots. The wind speed is 18 to 23. Mostly probably around 20. And mostly from the east as well. Again, fluctuating a little on either side of the east. Over.
Okay, well, you would have been interested in the weather for the next few days around there. Whistler X, Jerry and Janet, 2709 south, 17907 west, 025 true at 5.2, and the wind around that 18 to 23 knots from the east. So you'll chug along and get there Thursday morning, will you?
Yeah, Roger. We plan on speeding up a little bit as we get closer and timing it, so we're there as early as possible in the AM on Thursday. Over.
Very good.
Yep, very good. That sounds good, as long as you can see where you're going. Right, we'll clear with Whistler. Nice audio on that radio. And go to Falado, Gulf Harbour.
Over, this is Falado, over.
Yep, and good copy from you too. So go ahead, over.
Okay, we are at 30 degrees 04 minutes south, 179 degrees 35 knots west. Heading is 025 true. Speed is 4.5 knots. Wind 14 knots from 072 true. We've got choppy seas, fairly clear sky. Everybody's well. Over.
Okay, we have Falado at 3004, 17935 west, 025 true, 4.5 knots with 14 knots of east-northeast with choppy seas and mostly clear skies. Now, Jan, what are you guys going to be doing? Are you going to definitely go into Minerva? You will have heard all the discussion on the weather. Over.
At this stage, we are still aiming for Minerva.
Well, let's have a look at where you are at tomorrow. You're still going fairly slow, so you're going to hit that weather. I'm just going to pass the microphone.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Hit the weather. Might be. Usually with us, the weather hits us. But anyway, yeah, tomorrow I think you're going to see the wind backing a little bit more than what you've got now. It could very well be northeast quadrant, if you can call that a quadrant. Basically in that direction. You're being chased by a prefrontal trough, and behind that, the front itself. That's not tomorrow. That's just behind you. And let's see what happens on Thursday at about lunchtime. Hang on. There we go. My computer doesn't like RF out of this radio. I have to unkey the mic, and it takes a little bit of time for the computer to say thank you very much, and then it returns to a normal operating. But anyway, looking at Thursday, the frontal band is going to pass through you probably around lunchtime on Thursday. So the wind at first is going to be northeast, pretty much like what you're going to have Wednesday or late Wednesday. And once it passes you, then it's going to be a pretty quick flick to the south. So you'll have southerly quadrant winds late afternoon on Thursday, from what I could see here. So the rain and so forth, squalls, rain, higher winds, probably gusts to 35, all that will go past you, and things will be a little bit lighter after that happens. So just bear in mind, that's what's in store, and everything should be okay. Over.
Okay, thanks, David. You were just asking me any idea how long the southerlies will last for?
Yeah, when they turn southerly, how long will it be southerly?
Okay, well, what is happening is the new high is moving in. It's pushing that frontal band to the east, and so you're going to be on the eastern side of that ridge that's developing. And so those southerlies are going to, well, it's a strange thing that's happening with that ridge. This is a long way of answering your question. Another depression is going to form in the Tasman, and that is going to stymie the next high from moving east. So, in other words, on Thursday into early Friday, that ridge is going to be there, and those southerlies are going to be there. But all of a sudden, that low, that depression in the Tasman, is going to bring a screeching halt to that. So the winds are then going to change to the east, and that will be good for you if you're going to Minerva. So that will carry on for a couple of days, Saturday into, let's see what Sunday looks like. Hang on. Yes, well, what happens on Sunday I'm going to give you a position. You won't be there, you'll be further north. But at 29 south and right around the date line, let's just call it the date line, we're going to have that polar dip creating another bit of convective activity. So you're going to have the wind suddenly coming out of the northeast, and they are going to be slamming into the winds that are coming from the east-southeast, and they're creating quite a bit of convergence, a lot of rain, squalls, and all that sort of thing. So in other words, Sunday, northeast winds. Now, do you have an ETA for Minerva? Over.
We think maybe Sunday, over.
What day?
They're pretty Sunday. They're pretty slow.
I think you said Sunday.
Yeah.
If you said
Yes,
Sunday,
it is.
yep, Patricia has better ears than I do, that's for sure. My ears have had it. But anyway, unfortunately, the winds are going to be out of the northeast. getting up into Minerva on Sunday. So you're going to have to be either motoring, motor sailing, tacking, whatever. So the isobars are fairly broad at that point, so that is good. And let me just see what the winds are going to be then. Hang on. Okay, well, they look to be fairly light, believe it or not. I would say about 15 knots. And the direction is going to be north-northeast, north to northeast, somewhere in that little band right there. So be on the nose to get into Minerva, but at least it won't be strong. And in terms of what the seas are going to do, let's take a quick look at that. Hang on. They'll be coming out of the southeast about 2.5 meters. 2.5 meters. So that'll give you a push into headwinds. So yeah, it's going to be bouncy, but you'll get there. Over.
Okay, thanks very much, David. And Patricia. Harbour out.
I'm not sure that I would thank him for that. It does look a bit confusing, but definitely I was starting to think, would we carry on and forget Minerva? But it would be a shame to miss it, and you wouldn't gain
Wouldn't
anything.
do you any good.
No, it wouldn't do you any good at all. Okay, well, let's go to a master plan. And interestingly enough, for some reason, the AIS is 5 hours slow on master plan, and the boat not too far from them, Annie. So I'll be interested to see where you are, Dean. Gulf Harbour Radio.
Gulf Harbour, this is Master Plan. The North speaking Dean is currently up on stairs.
What?
Patricia,
Touch too fast.
Patricia at the moment is 27 degrees, 15 minutes south, and 179 degrees, 46 minutes east.
Yes. Yeah, can you carry on course and speed and winds, over?
Sure thing. Okay, current winds we're experiencing 25 to 30 knots easterly, 2 meter seas with quite rough conditions and showers or squalls going through regularly. We're currently doing 6 knots on a heading of 1 true.
Yeah, they're heading again because it cut out, over.
Our current heading is 010 true.
Okay, we have master plan 2715 south, 17946 east with nasty weather, 25 to 30 knots of squally conditions from the east, showers in the lot, 2 meter rough seas, and 010 course and 6 knots. So yeah, you'll be hoping that doesn't carry on for too much longer, over.
Yeah, that's correct. Get a bit of a rough day on board, but we are hoping that it'll ease overnight, and then we're aiming for a early Thursday morning arrival at Minerva, like the rest of the group.
Okay, Thursday morning arrival. It will be quite busy at the pass on Thursday morning. So, yep, if you can make it Thursday morning, that would be good, and you certainly would. You're in a good position to do that. So, you would have heard what's going on with the weather. So I won't repeat that, and yep, have a good safe night. It's not very comfortable, I realise, but master plan is doing pretty well against all of that, or with all of that. Okay, we'll clear with you and go to Artemis. Ingrid, are you on frequency? Yes, certainly, go ahead.
Wonderful. Our current position is 29 degrees 28 minutes south, 177 degrees 56 minutes east. Our course over ground is roughly 010 curve, speed over ground at 3.5 knots. We're reaching at the moment. The winds are between 20 and 24 knots. There's about 90% cloud cover, and yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay, I'm sort of starting to feel quite comfortable here on terra firma listening to all of this. 2928 south, 17756 east, on a course of 010 true, 3.5 knots, all well reefed for the winds 20 to 24 for the evening, 90% cloud cover. So it doesn't sound as if you guys are suffering from sunburn after the day either.
Yeah, for sure. We were just asked David if he kind of higher of what we're expecting in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out. I think the question was, what's the next 24 hours going to be like? Is that correct, over? Okay.
All right. Yeah, you have a severe cutting in and out on your mic.
It might be
Interference from the astronomical disturbances.
and lack
up
of
there.
sun. I would
Anyway,
imagine.
listen, you have got a prefrontal trough and a front that is going to, let's not say slam into you, that's dramatic. It's going to go through you by, I would say, tomorrow, we'll call it about 8 o'clock. I'll make a stab at around 8 p.m.
8 a.m. or 8 p.m.?
p.m.
Yep.
p.m. And the winds are going to change from the, just prior to that, they'll be northeast, and as the frontal band is going through the prefrontal trough and then the frontal band itself, the winds will probably be northwest, and then right behind that they should be westerly. So you'll know when it passes if it's dark. Your radar should be able to pick this up. If you've got a working radar and you want to use it, you should be able to see the bands, and if there's any major squalls from very large high clouds, you'll pick them up very, very easily on the radar. So that's the story. I'm sorry about that, but we're going to get hit by that frontal band tonight and into tomorrow morning, and then it's going to slide to the east and catch up with you late tomorrow. So that's the story.
We'll tell you what it's like.
So yeah, we'll be anxious to hear from you tomorrow at about this time, and you can tell us what the conditions are. Appreciate that very much if you did so. Over.
Thank you very much for that information. We will now expect that at about 8 p.m. tomorrow.
Yep, well, I'd suggest you have good early meals and get sorted. But yeah, well, we'll report on what it's like here because we will have had it before you. Okay, Ingrid, and yep, make some good progress tomorrow before it arrives. Let's go to Second Sun. We're change of direction now. Second Sun, Gulf Harbour.
Good evening. This is Second Sun.
Yeah, good evening, Andy. And I suspect that the problem we have got, I'll just explain the cutting in and out. I use a receive antenna up on a farm in Northland because he is way away from the power lines. It's totally self-contained. He has a big bank of solar panels. Now, we haven't had sun for a couple of days, so I suspect what my problem is with the cutting in and out, nothing to do with you guys, it's to do with the internet from there to me. So apologies if I have to ask you to repeat, but you've got a good signal. Go ahead.
Roger that. I'm going to give you our current position and conditions. We are at 29 degrees, 07 minutes south, 171 degrees, 42 minutes east. We're making about 3 knots right now. Heading is 325 magnetic. Our
We're going to put
is 17 from the northeast, and sea factors as they're out of the east. The sky is 30%. Cloud coverage. The barometer is 1017.7. We had a rain squall a couple hours ago, and we shortened sail and really picked up the pace since then. As I would expect more. That's where we're at.
Okay, well, we have Second Son on their way to New Caledonia. And by the way, folks, there's quite a lot of social disturbance in New Caledonia. Vicky managed to get out. They are burning tyres on the roads, and there's just general mayhem which flares up from time to time. So just be very careful when you do get to New Caledonia because the natives are restless. At least the airport is still open as opposed to Vanuatu, where Air Vanuatu is no longer operating. So that's causing problems, but it's just the social unrest at New Caledonia, but so far not affecting any of the cruising areas. Second Son, 2907 south, 17142 east, courses 325 magnetic at 3 knots. They've had rain squalls and just not very great weather for the last while. 17 knots of north-northeast at the moment, 30% cloud cover, and the bar is 1017.7. Just stand by for David's comments.
All right, good evening. You are on the edge of that front that we've been talking about for the last number of minutes. Again, there's a prefrontal trough and then a little bit of a gap and then the actual front itself. And I believe that's probably, well, you're on the edge of that trough at the moment. I think that the front itself, cold front, this is a cold front, probably going to be about midnight for you. You'll know when the wind starts to back a little bit more, probably coming out of the north-northwest, with a fair amount of rain, I would guess, and squalls and so forth and so on. So be prepared for winds that, well, they could be 30, 35 knots, which is typical in these sort of things. Once that passes, the wind's going to back even more, probably to the southwest and then maybe the west. So all this is going to happen between tonight and tomorrow morning. Over.
Waiting from what we saw in the model, so what we're anticipating is something. We're going to leave them small until the whole front goes by. We'll just take it nice and easy. And we'll let the wind push us further and further west until we're heading west, and then we plan to tack back over to the northeast and ride as it continues to back. Finally, I just want to comment on the civil unrest report that Patricia gave. I have information from 2 cruisers that are on New Caledonia right now, and the report that the airport is closed, customs, immigration, and all government messages are closed. They're both clear out. They're not sure when they'll have another opportunity to clear out, because right now they can't. The marina where the cruisers go to clear out is open, but they can't clear anyone out or in. Also, they say all the stores are closed and there's a curfew tonight.
Well, that happened to us once.
Wow, that's a great update. Boy, Vicky was lucky to get out, wasn't she just? So for those that might not have heard, because it was cutting in and out with me, the airport is closed, customs and immigration are not functioning. You could still get into Moselle, but there is no checking in and checking out. Did I get that correct? Over?
You did indeed get that correct. We plan to get we'll get an update tomorrow from both cruisers that we're in touch with there, the boats of Mandolin and Moana. And if there's any new exciting information, we'll share that tomorrow. And if the information is too exciting, then we're going to divert and head to Vanuatu. We have not made that call yet.
It may blow over.
Yeah, just don't make it too quickly, because it does blow over pretty quickly. I tell you what, we have been in New Caledonia when there has been similar unrest, and the New Cal French police, they don't muck around. They tend to get on top of things very, very quickly in their inimitable fashion. So don't rush into any decisions of diversion at this stage. But yes, we'll be very interested to hear your reports from Mandolin and Moana tomorrow, because that is very, very interesting. And it does affect, if it is going to carry on, what you can do there. Although the south, it does tend to be north of Noumea and into the centre, and particularly on the northern side. But who knows? So we'll stand by for the update tomorrow. Over.
Roger that, and thank you very much for tracking us, and thank you very much for the weather forecast. We appreciate that.
No problem. And now we move to a very interesting different boat. Whether they're on tonight or not, I don't know, because they just left today. But Cape Providence has left from Wellington to head to French Polynesia. So not sure whether they'll be able to copy or not. Cape Providence, Gulf Harbour Radio.
Good evening. Actually, this is something to speak to you as and very interesting. Over.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Just as well you're going in a different direction, Johannes. So where are you at the moment? Over.
We are just south of Cape Sir, just running Cape Sir, heading east for about 24 hours, and then there is no pass in your bunker, and when Sunday comes in, we're heading north for a week. Over.
Okay, sounds a good plan. So you're heading east. Could you just give me your position at the moment, please? Over. Yes.
Boy, my computer's just frozen.
Yeah, Johannes, I need, unfortunately, with this internet problem we've got, I will need your position. You're south of something, and if you could just give me latitude and longitude would be good. Over.
We are 41, 326 south, and 175, 1166 east. Over.
Yeah, all copy. That was good, and just the degrees and minutes will be fine. So Cape Providence with 3 on board, heading to hopefully Riverview, but certainly French Polynesia somewhere. 4141 south and 175 11, we'll call it 12 east.
I don't make a remark.
Yeah, David's just going to make a comment, and hopefully you can copy me. Hang on.
See you next tomorrow again around 6 o'clock. Over.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you are looking at the weather very carefully.
No, they've got Bob McDevitt.
Well, it sounds like you've got a router, so good old Bob is helping you out. But take a look at that depression that's going to be sinking down to the south along about, I would say, almost a week from now as you head east. The winds are, depending upon where you are at that point in time, they could be fairly strong, and they might not be in a favorable direction for you. So anyhow, you've got Bob. I'm sure he's looking after you, so I won't say anything else other than just keep your eyes open. Over.
Thank you very much for that. Bob McDevitt is looking after us, and we have David contact with him, and we're following his departure plan to the letter. Over.
All right. Well, you guys will be interested to follow on. We did that trip. Actually, we ended up going from Wellington to Napier to depart because we just had a struggle getting out of Wellington with the right conditions to carry on. So, yep, we've certainly done that trip, and we'll be looking looking at your progress with interest. So, hello to all on board, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow night. He's going east and going south and then east. So, good show, says David. All right, we'll clear with you guys, and I'll just see if there's anybody else wanting to make contact. Please call. Sorry, I've talked over you. Could that person who was calling try again?
Taurus.
Oh, Taurus. Good evening to you, Cara. Go ahead.
Good evening. To the district, brief report and Venus Maneuver Health and conditions of those 18 knots east. It's almost moving easterly now.
Yeah, thank you for confirming that, because everyone's switched off their AIS. So you're in North Minerva with the rather untropical 18 knots from the east, but it will be nice and warm, and you'll be able to have a jolly good sleep tonight. Over.
Yes, thanks. We're looking for the
All right, clear with Taurus. And is there anybody else?
I can.
Oh, goodness gracious me, are you back on the boat? Over.
Yeah, roger that. The only radio I got was maritime frequencies. Sydney Harbour for the night, over.
Yeah, well, I bet it's not got 3-metre swells in Sydney Harbour, although you haven't exactly had really tropical conditions over there, but I guess you got a lot of work done at home. What's it like at Sydney Harbour at the moment, Andrew?
Sydney Harbour, absolutely flat, calm, no cloud. It's 100% sunshine and 20 degrees, over.
Ooh, people should go there instead of Minerva. It sounds very nice. Flat, calm in Sydney Harbour, no clouds, 20 degrees, and a couple of hours of daylight left. So you and Claire enjoy it. And good to talk to you on the marine bands again. How long are you out for? Over.
Just tomorrow we're going to Whirling on board, and then we're back home again on Thursday, over.
Oh, a quick working holiday, as it were. All right, cheers to you both. Okay, we're a bit late tonight, aren't we? Is there anybody else?
Ocean Seahorse.
Well, ocean fever. I suppose you're still in Fiji. Over.
Yeah, Trish, anyway, lousy coffee here in the marina. There's a couple boats leaving, so I'm going to watch you tomorrow. Tomorrow, a woman, a solo woman. I'll send you the information. She doesn't have a radio, but an interesting gal. Over.
Okay. Does she? Hopefully, she has AIS if she's got no radio. Over.
I didn't get much of that. Anyway, I'll email you the story on her. She has a degenerative disease and trying to get around the world. Good job, and good evening, David. Ocean fever, off and clear.
Okay, Barney. Yeah, it's time to get out of that marina so you can hear things on the radio. All right. Cheers, everybody. Just a quick message. If you are emailing us, everybody, please put your boat name in the subject line. The boat name in the subject line, because it's quite difficult trying to sort things out and find things, actually, because we get a lot of emails in and they get lost in the system. So please, ghradio@extra.co.nz, and put your boat name in the subject line. Cheers, everybody. You can use the frequency if you want it. We are clear.